it's just seen as this like freak show. Like I don't think they quite grasp it. They might think it's like something bad or like something that is like crass and not classy. I know I've spoken to friends who have talked about how this goes with you to the grave and the skin needs to, like, it's beautiful enough all on its own. And I'm like, no, but life will leave you with so many scars that are like inside and outside, and this is in your control. And your skin is just your skin. Stop being so fucking attached to like how you were born. It's stupid. I know I gather stares when I walk down the street. And it's a very rude, like, this is India and it is Delhi, so I think people just like lack basic ethics, and they lack this sense of like just being a regular, like, decent human being. I feel like, you know, there's a lot of like pointing and like very loud sort of chiding, and I don't really get what they're thinking and like where they're coming from.
And they have no clue who you are, but they must have thought or made up their own stories in their head, like, you know, she's antisocial or whatever, but I might be the exact opposite of it altogether. Adds on to my personality, because the hula hoops, and I also really believe in the whole idea of what goes around comes around. Just put out whatever into the universe and it comes back to you at some point.
It makes me feel like stronger each time. As an individual, it's a reinforcing thing.
It goes to freedom, I think, to be able to express myself so freely, and to be able to know that I can live with that for the rest of my life. I would never regret it, never have any second thought about it. And also I think that would be able to drive me over by looking at it day in and day out, to remind me what it means and to be able to live by it.
Also, like, at least for me, tattoos are a way of like looking at really kick-ass art and getting that on me. That to me is like my sort of mission statement with tattoos, if that makes sense.
Like marking some sort of milestone, or it's been this, yeah, like just extreme happiness on seeing some sort of artwork which I had coveted for a long time on my skin, knowing that I have it and knowing that it's a part of me, knowing that I'm going to wake up with it.
You're like, oh, this is what I want to remember forever, or this feeling is what I want to remember forever, or this area, or this time. And you know, it keeps adding on till the time you actually sit and get it.
I wasn't very fond of the way I looked, and I, to be quite frank, considered myself quite ugly for like the longest time. So it started off as being like a sort of way to distract people, being like, oh, you know, if they look at like all of these tattoos on me, maybe like that can take away from whatever insecurities that I had. The funny thing is, as I grew up and I sort of battled those insecurities and I kind of just like dealt with all of those issues one by one, that reason is no longer there for me to get tattoos. I still just want them.
I got my first tattoo. I knew I wanted to represent my biggest change by far, and I knew that it had changed me for good. So I wanted to get that done. So my first tattoo was just a positive note to myself.
Oh, because I don't really like to talk much to unknown people. So if this is a way for them to know all that they want to know about me, why not?
If you see a woman in India today with their sari or their suit, they have their bindi to go with it, or their bangles and this and that. So they're accessorizing the attire. So for me, I feel like I wouldn't wear any jewelry as such, because I feel like the tattoos do the job.
Like when it's on your body, it's personal, because your artwork can be detached from you. For example, if I paint it, I can just say I don't own it someday if I don't like it.
You get a tattoo, you carry it, you have your story and you believe in it, and that's attractive.
Some tattooed men I find are like ridiculously hot, but I think that's just who they are. I don't think a tattoo can make you any less or more attractive. If you're attractive and if you're like a great individual, then yeah. But if you feel like you're going to go out and get a tattoo, which I think a lot of people think, they think they're going to go out and get a tattoo that they've seen on another attractive person, and it's suddenly going to like make them great with the ladies or the gents, and that doesn't work.
A cat with very unsymmetrical triangles all over. So it looks perfect from the outside. It's like a cat on the outside who's like the queen, the most perfect being. but inside it's kind of jumbled up. It's like the triangles don't make sense or proper shapes. You can look perfect on the outside, but inside you might be dealing with like 100 different things, and you can still look fabulous on the outside.
The Mexicans celebrate a tradition, they call it the Day of the Dead. So in that, they always decorate skulls, and it is a way to celebrate death. They believe people who have died have gone to another place as they fulfilled their meaning on this earth, and it's celebrated in a happy fashion, and unlike the other places in the world. And the roses signify love and happiness towards the dead person, and the swallow on the side represents him having a free spirit and leaving the earth.
It's yat parigachati punar agachati, which is what goes around comes around in Sanskrit. Why? Because I think I came back to India to study fashion design, and then got into dance, and things kept going on like a journey, and something led me to the hula hoop. So it was like one journey that I followed to discover the hula hoop, and with time I grew so passionate about it that every time I hooped I felt like I was in my own little universe, and it's like what goes around really does come around. You put any energy out there, at some point it's going to come back to you. So I went ahead and got this one on my shoulder.
I have an upside down lotus with an amber crystal in it for my solar plexus chakra. I have one in my heart chakra. I have one which is energy and movement. I have a few down my back which are for healing, meditation, protection, energy from various sources, and nature worship. I have a skull which is, I just love skulls, and I was going through a goth death sort of phase. I have a vampire lips because I also wanted to be a vampire at one point of time. I have some orchids because I love orchids. I have a set of tarot cards, 3 tarot cards, because I used to do my own readings.
This is one of the first images that I ever downloaded off of the internet. This particular artist was one of the first people whose work I basically just download the entire cache, sent him a whole bunch of mails telling him how inspiring his work is to me and all of that, right? So this is one of the first images that drew me to this sort of art style. The most recent tattoo that I have is the one that I'm the most excited about. It's not completely done, but it's on my left bicep, upper arm, whatever, right? So it's these 2 portraits, and it's Marilyn Manson and Lady Gaga, but the thing is they're done in the art style of this artist called Lucas B. David. And now Lucas's whole design philosophy is kill your idols. So he does really emaciated, almost dead looking sketches of a lot of celebrities. He's done Momsen, he's done Lorde, he's done Marina and the Diamonds, right? A lot of these pop girls and a lot of models as well.
You can see it going through 1/4 of a moon to full to 1/4 again, and it represents this time in my life where I was completely ridden with clinical depression, and I had suicidal thoughts, and I didn't ask my parents for any help, and I don't think they understood that I was going through clinical depression. I didn't have any friends, I just had myself, so I made stupid mechanisms to get out of it, and I did my best to be happy, wake up a bit happier in life. So it's sort of a representation of that, about how I was 1/4 of, or a shell of a person who I was. I became back to normal, and no matter where I end up, I can on my own come back to normal, and I don't need anybody else.